Wait, Roger's peeing himself?
Ugh, I need to think of a question.
How
It's
many
9
times?
plus 10.
21.
Chris gets 5 inspirations. Everyone else gets 0.
Let's go.
Dude, it was right on the tip of my tongue. No. Bless you.
Bless you.
Shut up.
Okay.
There's another one coming. Come. We got
My
Roger
brain is
away
really
with the
not
White
working
Claw
right
things,
now.
and he was crazy.
I'm surprised you ran a second session. Was not expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, because Tyler, you weren't gonna run one, and then I was like, wait a minute, maybe I'll just run another one. Just keep it going.
Ah, Coke Zero. Love it.
Coke Zero's epic.
Coke
Zero.
Zero is the best.
Coke Zero's fucking epic, bro.
Aw.
God damn it. My brain literally is not letting me think of anything to ask you guys.
Alright, it's session 16.
You know what?
What session was the session in which Seth's mini Vinny was about Tiamat on the beach?
13.
You guys have access to that document. I think, where I wrote down all the mini Vinnies.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that document.
That was not a bad
Question?
line of thinking.
I gotta find that document again now that you
What is the
mentioned
winged one's true name?
I don't
Christopher
even know
Columbus.
Actually, I think I did write his name somewhere in my own notes, but I don't remember where to find that.
Because I don't even know that.
George.
I think I kind of went with because like Osira is the name of some sort of, I don't know if it's like, it's something like Southeast Asian or
Yeah, Indian god.
yeah, like Indian god. Okay, that's what it is. I think I went to the origin and then found another name that just kind of along the same lines. But I can find it for you at some point. Seth, think of a question. Think of a question.
How many facets are cut into the Philosopher's Stone?
Trick question.
Trick question. The Philosopher's Stone is an uncut gem. No inspiration.
You get no inspiration.
Trying to help you out, Seth.
I'm usually better at doing this shit.
That's because you haven't had 2 weeks to think of a question. You only had
Yeah, exactly. I definitely don't come up with a question like 5 minutes before a session starts.
I know. It's uncharacteristic.
What is your character's favorite color? For all the marbles. That's how we're feeling today on this fine Sunday's Eve.
Blue. Wait.
Red.
Gets launched off the bridge.
Oh yeah. Any specific shade of red? Just
Bloody
all of them.
Crimson.
Crimson.
I love all the reds.
Ew.
King Crimson.
King
Alright.
Crimson.
So Osira likes blue.
Oh, this is the
Roksana
actual
likes
question.
Oh,
red.
I'm actually.
Yeah, it's the actual question because my
No,
brain is fried.
No, Asura's gonna he's gonna like gray.
like a lighter shade of gray or a
Yeah.
darker shade of gray?
Like a more metallic shade of gray.
Because he's morally
Oh.
gray.
Oh yeah, Osira Gray.
Osra the Gray. Can I become Osra the White next session?
It's
That would be a
racist.
little racist.
Yeah.
Way to whitewash your character.
On Columbus Day too.
Columbus Day. All right. Yeah,
Shitty
Gray. Gray's a fun one. Yeah, you get an inspiration, Jose, for answering my dumb question.
Sick.
What is this? A first date? Damn. Wait. Maybe I should change the question.
What's our astrology sign?
Give me your character's go-to pickup line.
Shit.
Would you like to be touched by an angel?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you get your
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
Coming out with the heat.
Brother. That was great. That was too quick.
I pulled that one right out of my ass. That was actually pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Give myself a pat in the back for that one.
Oh, what? You guys didn't like write this in your backstory? Come on.
Damn. Well, I run a brothel, so I'm usually not the one needing the pickup line.
Oh, true.
Oh, dude. I know it. I know a good one for Elijah.
Elijah should be like, I'm the prettiest person in here.
I was gonna be like, who am I? I can be anyone you want.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Yo.
Why are these coming to you faster than the questions?
Yes, why did that come to you so quickly? Damn. What would Roxana's pickup line be?
I was trying to think of one. I mean, I feel like this is covered by.
So either a
shit.
pickup line, or I'll give you an alternative that might make it easier. Like what's like an icebreaker question that they'd ask
I won't kill you if you
on a
step my
first
toes.
date.
Roxana.
On a
I'm going to kill you and suck your blood.
Excellent.
I could
pickup
I
line.
could suck more than just your blood.
Oh shit! Jesus.
Wait, somebody now. Okay, we're doing each other's pickup lines. I did
Oh, no,
Roxana's.
you should-
Roxana has to do mine. Somebody has
be
to do
like,
Derek's.
Roxana should be like, don't worry, I don't bite. Unless you want me to.
Oh my god.
That's also good.
Oh, no.
We're getting so many tossed
Oh,
around right now.
God.
that
How
don't
do we
even
have
know
a
what's
girlfriend yet, my
happening.
guy?
And I think that
God.
everyone should probably just get inspiration, and we'll continue.
Let's go. Roxana has so many though. That's hilarious.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Lot of good ones.
Okay. Continuing
Is that
where we
coffee?
left off, flying on Adroxa's back out of Drovir territory and back into Demir territory. A brilliant blue blaze dazzles across the eternal night sky. Both the Hanged Keep, Roxana's ancestral home, and the village of Eskviv below are engulfed in blue fire.
Wait, what?
Not the most welcome sight, returning to your family's home, Roxana. And I guess you're a bit. This is more of like a blown up image. You're still at a distance right now, but most of Demir territory is kind of like these low rolling hills or like flat plains. So it's very easy to see this at a distance after the night's fog sort of dissipates. I'm assuming you're still beelining it towards the Hanged Keep, as that was your original destination.
Yeah, just do
That's
like
the
a
one that you had in
flyover.
mind in the first place.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I want to get a vibe of like before we do anything. Are there like bodies? Like, do people die? Does there appear to be any like creature or creatures here that might be responsible? Just get a sense of like what's happening.
All very good questions. Why don't I get just perception checks from the whole party?
Is it visual?
Yeah, you would get a advantage, Asura.
25.
Ooh, Roksana keeping her eyes peeled. Vinny, you get an inspiration, by the way.
Oh,
Oh, sweet.
Ooh, I like me in that 20.
How's my nat 20? It's a little lower than the 25, so that's crazy.
Roxana's got, you've got expertise in perception, it looks like, right?
yeah.
Which is crazy because Roxana's wisdom isn't like crazy high, it's just at a +1.
Yeah.
But her whole bonus to perception checks is +9. Pretty nice. Perception's a good skill to choose expertise in.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say that, Roxana, I'm giving you, because we're, Osteros was done with advantage for like because he has an item that gives him advantage on visual-based perception check. I'll describe what Roxana like sees and hears, because that could be like any sort of perception check that you're doing, Roxana. You can hear as Adroxa kind of flies over the village of Eskviv and then kind of banks around the Hanged Keep. You hear shouts and yells issuing out from the blue blazing streets below, and it seems like up towards the Hanged Keep you can hear the sounds of battle to some extent. It seems like there's a fight going on up there.
Oh, interesting.
Asura, what you see in the streets of Eskviv, the village, you can see pretty distinct groups of all. It's kind of hard because you're like flying above, so almost everything looks like a. It's hard to like make out people's vertical shapes when flying above them, but like as Adroxa is flying around, you can kind of get like that parallaxed angle of them.
Yeah.
There don't seem to be any like monsters or creatures down there. All the figures that you see, and these are like, they would be illuminated by the flame if there weren't so many different light sources all at once, and it's kind of like obstructing your vision that to the point where you're only seeing like silhouettes of these things. Everything looks like humanoid figures, both those that are kind of just in like small groups standing off to the side on these streets, apparently just standing there and looking on at whatever's going on, and others that are like actively moving down the street, and you can even see like bouts of flame, blue fire issuing forth from some of them. Interestingly enough, despite being just completely entombed in fire, it doesn't seem as if any of these buildings have actually collapsed or anything. Almost as if the fire itself is, although spreading, is somewhat innocuous to the surrounding landscape. And Roksana, you see a similar thing, although your focus is most likely towards the hanged keep itself. The fire has spread around the hanged keep, and there's this smell catching on the air, kind of acrid, like burning metal or some sort of chemical smell, but unlike any that you've ever smelled before. It has like this burning sensation on your nose hairs as you take it in, and you can see, because I'd say that Adroxa doesn't fly as like high above it because the hang keep is like on this like taller hill slash like pseudo mountain.
Mhm.
Uh, you can kind of see it on the level of the actual ground at the keep, or maybe you're just like looking over a little bit because there's like a wall around the keep. You see what appear to be like armored Demir guards fighting, like dodging blue fire and like fighting these other humanoid figures that are like adorning hoods.
Okay, so I have I seen these things before? Have I seen anything similar to the hooded figures before?
Something similar? I would say, yeah, you guys have encountered something similar. Blue fire has been a motif at least a few times, not only with our own resident cleric Derek, but you also encountered people who seem to be following this mysterious blue flame before you even came into Thalas Ashana, those being like Tiamat and her entourage. And then also you were set upon by these like flame crazed like lunatics at one point that would like blow up when you had
Oh yeah,
fought them. I
yeah.
think traveling back from Atralosk.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so there's been a few, I guess, a few things that come to mind associated with Blue Flame.
What color was the radiant fire that oh my god, what's the name of the thing we're riding right now? That
Adroxa?
wait, what color was her fire?
Actually, yeah, you have seen her breath weapon before
Yeah.
when you first encountered Adroxa. Uh, Adroxa's breath weapon. This is an interesting thing, and I like the question that you asked. Her breath resembles kind of like if you ever see those like pictures or shots of like a nebula,
Yeah.
Ooh.
just like the it's almost like a dust storm of like star particles. Like that's kind of what it looks like.
Oh, okay, okay.
But thinking back on it, the lasting like, or at least like the short-lived effect in the surrounding environment, now that you think about it, not the breath itself, but like
Yeah.
where its energy has touched the surroundings, were like little wisps of mainly blue, pink, and
Ooh.
purple fire.
Okay, I see the inspiration. So she's like Stardust Dragon. From
Yeah, she has like very celestial themes about her, and that's further showcased by it's her her elemental radiance that's like powering the stellar umbra, the illusion around Thalas Ashana, right? But yeah, this is what you see, you hear, you smell. And again, the fire seems to be doing something other than physically burning the landscape.
So do they appear to be the same flame crazed cultists that we encountered before, like the same uniforms?
I I mean, many of them are, I wouldn't call them uniformed. Like, most of them are, like, wearing hoods. And I guess, like, similar to those flame crays that you had seen, a lot of the hoods that are being worn, actually, no, maybe it's a bit different now that I think about it. Yeah, I'd say the flame crazed that you fought probably had, like, nicer, like, robes or hoods that they were wearing. Like, a little bit finer. These appear to be more basic, lowly even.
Hmm.
The garb of the common folk.
That's interesting. Do they appear to be like commoners? Like this is like some sort of like revolt?
I think that's a question whose answer would be given if you were to go down to the ground and get a little closer.
Yeah, I think we'll swoop down a little bit lower. I'll just make sure that I tell her not to get too close to this flame, because we've seen it to be able to like burn vampires, right? Like we're essentially vulnerable to it.
Yeah, you've seen it have a pretty profound effect on those with the vampiric curse. So does that mean you're going to, where are you going to try to tell Adroxa to touch down?
I'll tell her to essentially find a spot. Oh, I don't know whether we should do like higher up or lower down. I'll say try to find a spot in the courtyard, maybe. We can start there.
Alright, find a spot in the courtyard.
Yeah, it's not actively burning.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like, how do I describe this? Like little sections of the courtyard that have like actively burning flame on it, but you call out to Adroxa to find a spot in the courtyard to land, and she flies around like maybe 1.5 times before deciding like, okay, this would be a good spot to touch down. And she goes and swoops in, and all of you feel this jolt, this sort of whiplash of Adroxa hitting what appears to be like a physical barrier, although one that cannot be seen. This isn't a spot where there's like flames touching where she like tried to fly in.
It's like an invisible barrier.
Yeah, something repels her, and you're currently like holding on to Adroxa, who's not like fitted with like a saddle or anything. You're like holding on to like grooves and her scales and like the spines on her back or whatever. So there's this moment there where that you can feel your like heart lurch in your chest as you like go and grip harder to not fall off of her. And her longer, more serpentine neck actually is able to turn around back towards you, Roksana.
I need to land further away. I think I know what is going on.
That is fine. Just get us as close as you can.
She flies around, kind of circles one more time, and then descends down the hillside and goes to land on, as close as she can, on the outskirts of Eskviv. And once all of you have dismounted, she reverts, or I guess she goes into her humanoid form.
It appears that I won't be joining you. I do not know how, but they are using my radiance as protection.
Dead ass. She's gonna say, you think they're from the city then?
That would be my first guess. Who else would have access to my radiance's power? But again, I no longer hold my connection to it. It has been apart from me for too long. I can no longer call to it.
Very well. Stay close by.
I shall.
We will continue this journey on foot. See if we can infiltrate.
And I would appreciate answers. Who these people are. And what they are doing with my stolen power.
I would like answers much the same. I think we'll find some today, even if we have to shed some blood to get them. And she'll disembark. Start to walk on foot towards the keep.
Okay. Unlike Adroxa's repulsion from this place, as you get closer to the point where you can actually feel the warmth of these blue flames. An interesting warmth, not the normal burning warmth of a fire, but one that kind of excites and creates more of a tingling sensation, like this staticky warmth, one that's almost as if it's like vibrating your very cells in your body. As you get close enough that with a normal fire of this size, the heat would become oppressive. Derek, again, unlike Adroxa's repulsion, you can see and feel this blue fire pulling towards you. Like amorphous blue tendrils.
Yeah, can I like light a sacred flame in my hand? And you know how like if you put two lighters together, they like sort of make a bigger flame. I sort of want to hold my hand closer to one of these like licking tendrils of fire that are.
You hold up your hand, and yeah, this like tendril of fire that's like reaching towards you. But like perhaps it is still kind of like bound to like the house that it's attached to, so it's not like quite reaching you. Like little motes, little wisps of blue fire gently float towards you and around your flame, and then suddenly like the sacred flame actually grows in size, more of like a sacred blaze instead.
Mhm. Interesting.
But shortly thereafter, it kind of reduces back to its normal size. It seems like this blue fire is very similar to your own.
Yep.
It has many of the same properties. And you now approach the very edge of Eskviv, like that first those first few houses leading into like one of like 2 streets that intersect each other through the village. And at this distance, you can more easily see these humanoid figures like blowing, kind of like if you ever see like the torch jugglers, if you've ever seen those, and like they'll fill their mouths with alcohol and like blow their torch fire like out into a crowd. You see like these almost flame thrower like spurts of fire extending out from these figures that you can now see are holding torches. These torches boasting a brilliant blue flame. It's, if not confusing and like for Roksana like startling in this moment, this would be like a beautiful sight. Like brilliant. Something entirely otherworldly. But it appears that these figures either have not noticed you or currently pay you no mind as they go about lighting various parts of this village aflame.
And this is still outside the keep?
This is outside the village of Eskviv.
Oh, okay. So we're like pretty far away then from the keep.
Yeah, you need to go up the hill.
Gotcha. And do they appear like spectral, like flesh and blood? Like, what is the like corporeality of these figures?
Good question. It seems they don't seem very ethereal from here. Although you obviously can't be certain unless you were to interact with them. But it does seem as if they're bound by, you know, the physical laws of this place, like they're walking on the ground. In fact, like looking on this like dirt road that you're standing on, you see many sets of footprints.
And they also appear to be in that like hooded garb.
Yeah, they all do seem to be hooded from this distance, but you're so close to the fire now that like there's so many layers of fire as well that it's hard to like see anything for its true form or true colors. It actually ends up casting so many shadows that a lot of things are silhouetted. You will need to step into this place, into the village, to get a closer look. Although, because you guys rolled some pretty good perception checks earlier with the natural 20 and then your 25, you do seem to see not hooded figures as well. Remember how I mentioned that there were like clusters of humanoid figures not really like walking around or anything? These you can see are are seem to be like clothed normally, like in their silhouetted form. They don't appear to be like wearing hoods or anything, but they're just standing in the street, just like looking at what's currently happening to this place. Like these fires that are taking over and consuming these buildings within the village. But I'd say that, like, if actually this is a good spot because you see on this like road that you're standing on, as I said, it intersects like the other main road through Eskviv. Standing at that intersection, so right in the middle of this village, there appear to be two other figures that, unlike the onlookers, are like looking around and like walking around, and are pointing various places. You guys can like make insight checks if you want to like see, to try to intuit what they're doing. That's a pretty good insight check.
I only have +1, so it's very good for me.
That's a good insight check from Derek.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
What the heck is going
Elijah.
on?
Elijah
It's pretty
knows who
obvious
they
to you
are.
that these two figures are actually directing the hooded figures, like pointing to various places. And then you notice that these hooded figures will like walk to another spot and like use that torch to like flamethrower another spout of fire in that direction.
And you said this seems like holy fire?
It seems like Derek's like this very same type of fire that like Derek uses. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like holy fire.
That kind of scares me because I feel like that's not like a vampiric source of this. Like my gut is worried that this is something with like the winged one at this point, with like some kind of divinity to it.
Yeah, but he's not.
But like I just don't know why, like, if this is harmful to vampires, like.
Maybe it's Tiamat's faction.
Oh, that. Yeah, that could be a possibility. They seem a bit too crazy for her, but I don't know. I mean, these two figures, do they seem apart in any other way? Like, what are their like distinctive features? The ones that are leading them. They're also like hooded, I assume, but like
With a natural 20 from Elijah, and that combined with like the couple of like very good, I guess it's like yes, Elijah's natural 20 there mixed with like Ostera's natural 20 and Roksana's 25 on their earlier perception checks. Because like a mixture of insight and perception is like what you would use to like recognize someone from a distance, I would say. Like their mannerisms, like how they move, how they compose themselves, just like what they look like at a distance. You've seen these two people before, and it kind of does answer, or at least partially answers a question that you've probably had since you've gotten to Thalas Ashana, which is these are the two companions that Lady Tiamat had with her.
Oh,
you sniped that.
Oh,
Yeah, you did snipe
Wow.
it. Theodore and Saravo. Theodore being like a human, and Saravo being a dwarf.
Oh, okay. So with that, I think she's gonna feel much more at ease. Assuming they don't look like possessed or something, like she's gonna walk out and try to greet them in a non-hostile way.
Okay.
Hail them over.
Just like a quick question, I guess. Did you, other than like, obviously you kind of brought a Droxa along?
Oh wait, wasn't it Tiamat that had the I became her friend basically by appealing to the blue flame.
Yeah, you
Okay,
did.
yeah, this is coming back to me now. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's been a while.
Oh, it's been so long.
I
I
don't
think it's been like
I don't
a
blame
year
you
maybe.
for
Has it really been a year? Oh my goodness.
I mean, I feel like it's been a long time since. I mean, that's from when the session before we arrived in Thalas Ashana. I don't know how many sessions ago that was, but quite a few. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been so long that like I do not blame you at all for needing to like remind yourself of what happened for a while. So yeah.
Oh, but why are they using the radiance? That's scary to me. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, you were separated from them, right? Like when you first were transported to Thalas Ashana,
No.
Tiamat nor her entourage like appeared in the same location as you, so it was kind of left as that mystery, like, oh, maybe we'll try to find them at some point. But apparently they've been up to some stuff. And let me just make sure. Oh yeah, my question that I was going to ask was, did you? I know that you brought like, obviously you took a Droxa because she was like the one giving you a ride all the way over here.
No.
But I think you also came along with Artiber, so if you wanted him with you, that was an option. Because like he's like the one NPC who kind of like came along with you, other
Yeah.
than your various porters and stuff. So
Yeah, we can bring him.
you want to bring Artiber? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's just important for when I'm putting you on a map that you guys might get to see soon.
Oh boy.
But
No.
you walk down this road, you pass the first couple of houses. At this point, even with all like the light going on within the village, you're close enough now that everybody's seeing from. It's kind of like, you know how at night, if you have a bunch of lights on in your house, like you can't really see outside if you look out the window. Like it's difficult to see with all the light going on inside. This is definitely a distance where people would start to notice you. And these hooded torchbearers, they're just going about their job, not paying you any mind. And stepping into this light, you can see more clearly as well, as it's not like various flames in different directions all kind of like occluding your vision. It seems that all these people are, or most of them are wearing robes. Or these robes and like these hoods seem to be just like very simple, like clothing that they had thrown on. Some of them actually you can now see like they have their hoods down. The few that you can see with their hoods down, they kind of look like normal people.
Like humans?
I would say that not humans. That's a good question to ask. First one that you see is actually an elf, but one that doesn't look Jalaran to you, maybe like an Eladrin. The next one you see with their hood down is a Jalaran. And it seems like any that do have their hoods down, they do tend to be otherworldly races, so not humans or dwarves or halflings or anything of those sorts. Mainly like the Rin races, so like Jalaran, Eladrin, Drorin, like the Dark Elves,
It's
or
just
like
like
gnomes.
some vampire hunter alliance or something. Like, what the fuck?
And another thing to note, obviously, like, we're suspended in time right now because we're like playing a game, but you're walking down the street, and these are all like moments glances that you're taking all this in. The like small groups of people, maybe like one person standing off to one side, two people standing off on another side. You can see it looks like a woman holding her child's hand as she looks on in horror as like what's presumably her house is taken by blue fire. It appears that these bystanders are like the people of Eskviv. And something even more important to note is that as you walk by, just like crisping on the side of the road, does appear to be just like a charred body, like face down
Oh god.
on the dirt road. But there aren't a lot of bodies,
Huh.
like just one that you're passing by.
Oh, so it's not like raise the village amounts of bodies.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
not
no.
Is it
And
like is it
you
like
can see that
Shazal or something? What's the one
you
body?
can see it is so charred that you'd probably need dental records to to figure out who it was.
This will be a cold case file 20 years from now. Okay. Are we with
You
do they see us, the two companions? Or did they like also pay us no
as you
mind?
walk down, and they're like, you see them talking to like two of the torchbearers, and they're pointing in various directions and send them off, and they like turn around and they see your whole group there, and you can because you're more eye level with him, I guess, like Theodore, you can see him like turn towards you with like these very bright blue eyes,
Oh god.
looking at you, kind of like squinting for a second, like leaning his head towards you, and then like perks it up a little bit because he recognizes who's approaching.
Is it like blue light in his eyes?
Yeah, certainly.
Oh
I
god.
think it's been this way. I've always just like gone off of his
Oh, okay. So
his,
that's not
his
new.
character art.
That's not new
Uh,
then.
I think you guys called him sexy or hot last time that you saw Theodore.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Tyler.
yeah.
It's not like this isn't like a possession.
Yeah, no, I was
technically,
worried
it's
it
just
was
what he
like
looks
a blue flame fucking possession or some shit. Cuz like they'd be more likely to not immediately attack us, I'd think. Unless something has drastically changed.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to indicate any apprehension, like he doesn't reach for a weapon or anything. He kind of just like taps Sravo on the shoulder, and Sravo turns around, and they kind of just like wait for you guys to like walk up to them.
All right, I'll walk up and be like,
Yeah, well, I'll walk up too.
You pass by these torchbearers who, seemingly at first, like when they first like were able to see you, right? You're like, oh, either these people are like not paying any attention to us, or they're like mindless, kind of like those, like the flame taken that you had fought before. But you actually see like some head turns from these torchbearers, just like because they hadn't seen you before, just like, oh, trying to see who you might be, but then go back to their duties of burning this place down. You walk to the center of Eskviv, and Theodore and Sravo are waiting for you. You've come at an interesting time.
"What is the meaning of this? Where is Lady Tiamat?"
I'm sure Lady Tiamat would enjoy your presence. And he kind of looks over his shoulder and up towards the Hanged Keep. She is attending to business at the keep, while we do the flames bidding down here in the village. I'm sure you have many questions, and I suppose I can try to answer as many as I can. Sravo, would you mind taking over for a while I talk to our guest? And it almost seems like a bit of like pomp to what he's saying. It's like it kind of strikes a little bit of a nerve in you probably. Like he just
Like
called
haughty.
you their guests, but this isn't their like his family's land, right? Like
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
owned by like Roksana's made a lot of character progression, but like wouldn't that piss you off if like someone's standing in your own home and just says, "Oh, like welcome."
Oh yeah. No, she's really trying to play it cool, but her nerves are really bubbling beneath the surface. I guess the first question she'd ask him would just be like, "What is the meaning of this? Why are you burning everything with this flame?"
Because it is what we have seen. I'm sure you were curious as to why we wanted to come to this place at all. I mean, all of, or at least Stravo, Lady Tiamat, and I, we were all born in the garden. A small thing to note there is that
In the garden.
in the garden.
We were born in TD Garden.
Interesting thing to note that it's a bit of information about Tiamat that maybe you wouldn't have guessed. Like Tiamat is like a younger looking like elven woman.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought she was human for some reason.
Yeah, no, she's elven. But that's just a bit of, I guess, backstory about her that's revealed there, is that she was born in the Cerulean Garden. We hear its calling. It tells us things. I don't know if they are premonitions or commands or pleas. But we have all decided to follow through with what is being shown to us. The cerulean flame, it warms our souls. And it's become increasingly apparent to us that your home is the most in need of its radiance and warmth of all places.
Oh boy.
You must have seen it, no? Everything wrong going on here. Everything is so crooked and perverted. And it would seem that many of the people here agree with us. Can you not see? He gestures with his hand to the various hooded or some unhooded torch bearers. These are this land's people who have rallied behind the light of the blue flame so that they can see that which it illuminates.
I think by this point she's like close to seething with anger. And she's like, "Are you a fool?
A fool?
Are you a fool?
I am a disciple.
A vocation. Not quite dissimilar, I suppose. Take us to Lady Tiamat, please. I have all the answers I need.
Very well. He goes to turn in the direction of like the path up to the hanged keep, and one of the unhooded figures, or not one that you had seen before, but comes like running out of like a space, like an alley between a couple of buildings, comes running out towards Theodore. Theodore, we have a problem over on the southern outskirt. It appears that some of the tenants of the house were on patrol, and they're currently at a standstill with some of the disciples.
Oh god, I know where this is going. Oh no, I don't like it.
Theodore turns towards. He raises his hand to the disciple, just to give him a second to speak to you.
Allow me. Who better than I than to negotiate with these vile Jalaran? Wouldn't you think? Get them to stand down on their ancestral homeland, to surrender it to you. Isn't that what you wish?
I know you're playing me, but you're right.
You can see like a smirk fall across his face, but not in like a way of like, oh yeah, like that's exactly what we want, haha, sort of way. Kind of like he sees your attitude towards it, and it's almost like a combative smirk, or more of like a challenging smirk.
He's jeering at you.
Is it not their land too? Go ahead, by all means, Lady Roksana of the Demir. I've learned a lot about who you are after coming here and learning the ways of the people. Heard word of you. Heard of your silver tongue and all of your deeds you've performed.
Then why do you just now refer to me by my title?
I was gauging to see if you were past that, but it appears not.
It's my land too, is it not?
Depends on your choice. Now please, I would love to see your silver tongue at work.
Too many slip-ups like that one. Then the common folk will start to see the cracks in your facade, as well as I. Lead me to them, I would love to chat.
Okay. without another word, Theodore turns towards the disciple that then, like, kind of at like a brisk walk, turns towards this like alley that he had originally come from. And you can actually hear shouting from around the corner.
Get back, you lunatics! These folk have done nothing wrong to you.
Behind these words, you can hear labored breaths as if the words are coming from an injured voice. And going around the corner, following Theodore and the disciple, backed up against the wall of the house, there are 3 what appear to be like Demir guards, like bodyguards, and 2 of the Demir house. Obviously, you recognize all of your half-siblings. 2 of your half-siblings, both of which are Shazal's children. One Goderic Demir, and the one whose voice was speaking out was Amalafra Demir. And also backed up against this wall, and in like a seemingly... sorry, I said 3 guards, it's 4 guards. In a seemingly like uncharacteristic way for like a Jalaran noble to act, it seems like they're almost protecting 2 civilians who stand behind them, cowering. It appears to be like a teenage Jalaran boy wearing more peasant type clothing, and he's like currently like crouched down, embracing what appears to be maybe like a younger sister or something. And the people who they're currently in an altercation with are 4 of these like torch bearers, and one of them like speaks out just as you're like rounding this corner. They struck out against us. They would dare lay their fingers on one who embraces the flame. We never said that they had to be with us, but they are certainly against us. They, and of course you, will have to pay.
Is he talking to me?
No, he's talking to like Amalafra Demir.
Okay.
And the torchbearer that you're currently with, which would make like a 5th torchbearer, kind of steps to the side, and Theodore motions for you to come through in a kind of half sarcastic way to step up and diffuse this situation. I think it would be a good time to like put you on the map. Let me... I'm gonna put Roksana kind of up front over here. Tell me if I'm missing someone, because I There's too many of you guys.
Ooh, animated flames.
Oh, cool. That's dope.
I think I just need to find Artiber. There he is. So yeah.
There he is, the baddie in the flesh. Theodore.
Maybe Artiber would actually come up with you because he has stakes in this as well because this is his home too. So yeah, what we have right now are all of you guys just kind of like standing in the back over here. Most of the party's over here. You have Theodore standing in this alley, the guy who kind of like guided you back a little further up. Then we have Roksana and Artiber, followed by all these torchbearers and the Demir folk all the way on like the right side over there.
The Demir guard look badass.
Yeah, they look sick.
Also, Amalafa's a baddie. What the fuck?
If you had to find character art for like your D&D games, Jose, you would learn that it's very hard to find characters that aren't baddies.
I know.
So true.
All you
I'm
gotta
aware.
do is use an AI and then write your prompt and they'll create one for you.
And say ugly ass bitch.
Yeah.
Ugly ass bitch.
All right.
Okay. Oh man, this is interesting.
Disciples clear the way, Theodore yells out. And they kind of quickly look behind as to what's going on. And you can see confused expressions on their face. Like there's so much light around here that you can see the faces behind the hoods on all of them. Perhaps the reason why they wear the hoods is maybe it's that like aspect of anonymity. Anonymity. That's the word. Anonymity. And they like move out of the way. And like definitely at least one gives us a face similar to like, oh, like they kind of recognize you and they scoff looking at you.
The half sibling scoff?
No, one of the torchbearers.
They're just antagonizing me at every opportunity. Roxana's definitely feeling the ire, but she's very controlled. Like she's learned how to handle her anger very well. So she's gonna bear through this disrespect. She knows that sometimes, if you're, trying to get honey from the hive, you're gonna get stung. So she's just gonna try to bear through it. And do they leave or do they stay like at the wings at the ready?
They give like a little bit of room, but they definitely seem eager. Or maybe anxious.
Okay.
Like, yeah, they have some numbers, but they don't have huge numbers. And you can actually look and see now that there are like scorch marks on a lot of these like people. So like the Demir children and like the guards, you can see scorch marks on them. As if they have been like injured by some sort of flame.
How does it not surprise me at all to see Roksana standing alongside these freaks?
Killer.
Oh damn.
And this is what's her name?
This is Amala from...
Okay. No, that's an understandable reaction. She's gonna say, "Watch your tongue. We both know the predicament you are in right now. So if you want to make it out of this, you must heed my directions in their entirety. Keep your mouth shut and do whatever I say, or I will let these dogs have you.
Sounds like an intimidate to me.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That or persuade are both pretty good for me.
Yeah, give me an intimidation check.
I'm gonna use my advantage on this. 19.
19's pretty good. Her, like, brow furrows. And she looks at you with a very serious gaze.
Then get us out of it.
And you can see her, like, if biting your tongue were like a literal expression, please, as she like lowers head a little more, as if she's like regurgitating something as she's saying the word please to you.
Yeah. Follow me, all of you. And keep your mouths shut for now, please. And she'll turn to Theodore. Surely the voice of the flame has compassion for conquered peoples. We wish to entreaty Tiamat for conditions. You may accompany us if you wish, but we are rather defenseless and surrounded by your number.
I was never planning to judge you or your half-siblings here on the streets. I have specific instructions to bring all of the Demir spawn up to the keep for your repentance or your reckoning. That is for Lady Tiamat to decide.
I am intent on having a conversation with her. If that is what you mean by reckoning, then I will go.
That is for her to decide. I'm sorry I cannot provide you with more detail. But credit where credit is due. I do not think there needed to be bloodshed here. So fine, we'll leave it as is. Those citizens over there, I believe the boy threw a rock at one of the disciples. He like yells over to the boy. You! Leave now. And you will be forgiven. The boy, like, it just, like, grabs his sister, like, stands up holding his much younger sister, and just, like, runs. Just sprints off into the twilight.
Can I try to stop him from leaving? Like, just sort of put my arm, maybe like on his shoulder or something, kind of comfort him a little bit.
You'd have to go like a little bit out of the ways to do that, but you certainly could.
I'll do that. And I'll say to Theodore, surely you should have more mercy for these people. Are you not contradicting the very thing you said to me not 20 minutes ago about a peaceful occupation?
This is not an occupation. It is a cleansing.
Yo.
What?
The boy acted with violence, and violence was to be expected in return. Look at all the people on the streets here. Do they appear harmed? Distraught, yes, but we only act in defense where necessary. And your mind instantly is recalled to the charred corpse on the road, not but a few hundred paces away. I can see that this situation is becoming rather tense, though. And perhaps Lady Tiamat would be a much better envoy of our cause. Forgive me. I am in an unfamiliar place. And am rather homesick.
Why don't you offer yourself to the flames then?
Oh, I have. And they have given me much, enlightened me with much. Perhaps they can do the same for you.
Well, the clock is ticking. Shall this fire burn the countryside faster than my army shall march it? We shall see. Now lead me to Lady Tiamat so that I might decide with her what happens next.
Very well.
Your simple tastes have rather bored me, Theodore. Your lack of understanding betrays something about your character that I find disgusting. Take me to Tiamat at once.
Very well. He walks past the party back in the direction of like that main road intersection. He does not even look behind him to see if you're following closely by.
Are the men still with him?
Like the torchbearers or like the Demir guards?
The torchbearers.
Yeah, the torchbearers do follow him.
Okay.
and the Demir guards are allowed to stay with Amalafra and Goderic. But you can see now that like a larger grouping of these torchbearers begins to like follow along with you. Presumably for Theodore's protection. He also goes and grabs Saravo. I think they can handle themselves for now. I think we need to bring our guests up to the keep, such that Lady Tiamat can enlighten them. They guide you down the road, up the path to that steep, solitary hill that hosts the Hanged Keep. And you're brought, well, first to note, various spots along like this path upwards. You can just see blue flames licking across the ground, the hillside, all of that, as if they have, as if they're burning timber, like they have fuel to be burning upon, although no normal fuel is there. Cleansing, Theodore said, but what could cleansing even mean? Across the drawbridge, spanning like this, like very thin gorge between a place at like the highest, the apex of this hill, and the other, like kind of like a mesa or like plateau that the Hanged Keep is upon, also completely covered in flame. And similarly to how you can feel, you, Roksana, feel your like anger towards this situation. Like it seems to be wearing on Roksana for sure. Hopefully I'm getting that right.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
she doesn't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
As like the heat builds up in her chest, the flames, the presence of the flames, and you're like walking across this flame covered drawbridge, appear to dawn like more of the heat of a normal fire. And it's starting to get like hot enough to be uncomfortable, not hot enough to burn you, but almost as if the fire is pushing against your contempt towards it. You push into the courtyard, and even before stepping into the courtyard, you could hear the sounds of like maybe a sword clatter, just like a couple of yells, and you actually see stepping into the courtyard a few, like a dead Demir guard, in the courtyard, a heavily wounded Demir guard who's like standing up against like one of the walls of the keep, who has like a dead like torchbearer at his feet, and like two others that are just standing like by him. also like those two are also injured, as if this guard had like they just got into like a large fight. And it's clear with the number of torchbearers in the courtyard and one Demir guard already dead that this would be a losing battle for the guards.
So we're walking with Roxana, right?
Yeah.
So I would probably Roxana, I would say you see Derek tense up because he innately wants to help these people that are injured but not dead. But reading the situation, since it's tense, like Derek glances at you because he like wants to help people. What would you have him do in this situation?
Who does Derek want to help?
That's
Well, I
tough.
mean, like he walked by all these like injured and maimed like
Like those on
guards.
both sides? Those on like
No, on the Demir side. I mean, depends.
the guards? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you said
You can
one.
say no.
You said one.
I just want to.
You said one of the Demirs appears to be still alive, like heavily wounded.
Yeah, it looks like these two torchbearers currently have him like pressed up against the wall, and they're like approaching him with their torches out, like shaking.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't
she'll-
seem like they're like super equipped to fight or are not like super familiar with fighting, so there's a lot of adrenaline going through their bodies. It's like a scrap for them.
Yeah.
But there's just like their numbers
Oh
apparently.
wait. So are
She-
we?
She's gonna take advantage of that because like typical like police officer tactics, like raising your voice in like a really tense situation can
Yeah.
sometimes command the person, whether they sort of know it or not. Like it's a subconscious thing.
Mhm.
And she'll sort of call out and be like, "Halt! They're coming with us too. That guard there. Let our healer tend to him before we go up to Lady Tiamat. He appears to be wounded."
Your healer. You can see. You know what? Actually, give me like an insight check.
Me or
Let's see if you
Roxana?
can see like I guess either of you. This is just kind of just to see what like
I
what
don't have good
emotions
insight.
or
I have
intense that
Oh,
like
17.
Theodore is betraying in this moment
Yeah.
as he like acknowledges what you said. Okay. You can definitely see like the red in his eyes. Like a little bit of like contempt or something. Just like anger, like maybe this predilection towards violence. And then something motivates him. You're not sure what to say what he says next. Very well.
All right. You see Derek.
You two. You've done enough. It doesn't look like that one wishes to fight anymore. And you can see as they like step out of the way that the guard isn't even like holding a weapon anymore. He's like holding one of his arms, which you can see that like the armor and like the cloth of like whatever cape he was wearing is like burned through. Like almost like some immense heat overtook him, and like he's like severely injured. Like probably no place to fight, but like maybe his him just like being standoffish in any way is like what was preventing those two torchbearers from finishing him off. So they like go off to the side, and yeah, you can go over to the guard and give him a healing.
I lay my hand on her shoulder, and I would say you see the blue, like a blue flame or a glow come from Derek. He can't hide that, and so he puts his hand, like kneels down, like he probably stakes his giant menacing spear in the ground first, like next to him.
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah, you basically see a like kitted out dude with a shield and a spear just like stick the spear in the ground, kneel down. You hear his armor clink together because he has medium armor on. Put a hand on the guard and say, "Come with us." And then you see a blue glow, and I cast Cure Wounds on him.
Nice.
Just gonna burn that spell slot real quick. There you go.
What? Why?
You're under Lady Roksana's protection now. On your feet.
He
And you see
steadies
Derek just
himself.
yank him up. And then we walk back to the party.
Theodore, you can see as you're walking back, Theodore and Sarava both seem to be like pretty shocked, and they like give each other looks. This time it's Sarava who speaks up.
You have been touched by the flame as well. What do you stand to gain by working with them? You've heard its callings, no?
Speaking to you, Derek.
Yeah.
Why do you ignore everything it says? But perhaps I am speaking too soon. It did bring you here, after all.
Its calls have no import to me. Its power has been my own since I was young. It's not one that makes me desire more.
He doesn't even like he doesn't even like try to contradict you in any way. Like he doesn't like try to like proselytize or anything like that. All he does is he kind of like sinks back into himself. Like the amazement of your presence is still like the forefront there. And like he just acknowledges what you say without like giving any preachiness back towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Theodore turns towards you, Roksana. I'm sure Lady Tiamat is inside and has already completed her task. It's funny. Really. That for a people of such little faith, your family would keep a personal chapel as a relic in their very home. Let us go.
We have faith in something real, Theodore, in strength, in family, in blood.
In family. You see what your own family is doing to itself right now? At the behest of a dead man? This like strikes you as odd. That because it seems like Theodore is bringing up like the moot and everything. But like obviously up until this point you haven't like really seen the blue flame involved in the moot at all, like why he knows so much about the moot. I just say that's definitely a little bit odd that he knows so much.
Oh yeah, I have a personal theory that this blue flame is like either Zalad manipulating them, or the winged one manipulating them. Someone manipulating them with some divine voice that's telling them things. So with that in mind, she completely ignores what he said, and she's like, "Where are you from in the Cerulean Garden, Theodore? What region?"
Well, I am from the Triumvirate.
Very well.
I was a young whelp growing up near Throughwall. And he's like walking you into the front doors of the keep at this point. Into like the entryway. You go through like one set of double doors, there's kind of like a seating area, and then another set of double doors out into like that main hall on the first floor of the keep. Sravo over here grew up in Travail. It's interesting because my family, my upbringing wasn't very religious. Opens a set of doors. Sravo comes from a place where perhaps spiritualism is much more important. You see, the dwarves are very spiritual people.
You have that right.
And you can see like Sravo's attitude towards it as he's kind of like shaking his head, like thinking about his upbringing. And Lady Tiamat, like as you're finally stepping into like this this grander hall, you can actually see there's a couple of torchbearers there and 6 dead Demir guards.
Damn.
But Theodore simply walks you past them. I'm afraid at this point, I'll continue my story in a second. Only the Demirs can come with me. The rest of you are free to walk about. Do as you please. We're not here for you. We're here to present all of Venali's children a choice. So I'd ask that only Roksana and Amalafra and Goderic come with me. Your other family is likely waiting.
Very well. Pay your respects to my father. She looks to all of you. in the crypt.
Derek nods.
Okay.
This is amazing. This is the most stressful. Like,
Actually, you hear ask Derek, shall I help others that I find?
try to find the young one if you can. The one who... I'm trying to think about how to say this without revealing too much to these people. You might wish to consult the walls of this place on your journey down to the crypt.
Derek nods again. Hopefully I remember that person's name. Please hold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Derek would know it. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
wouldn't know it, but Derek would.
I just forget. I forget what's her face's name.
Galethe.
Yeah, Galethe Demir.
I'm hoping
I
to
was like,
God she's
this-
alive, because her ability is like she can just phase through areas of the castle.
Yeah. So I was like the little girl, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Galethe. I was like, and you said talk with the walls. I was like, yep, there's only one person that I can talk to through walls.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect then. I was hoping he'd pick up on that.
Okay. Yeah. They kind of just let you guys go.
I'll go with.
Whether
I'll
it
help
just
you
be
out
through like overconfidence or like truly they think like, oh, we're not after the rest of you. Like you're free to go. Like the guard that you healed and the 4 guards that were with Gaderick and Gaderick. It's weird saying Derek at the end of
I
anything.
know.
Good Derek. You're bad, Derek. The other 4 guards are kind of just like with you. Like they seem like they're most protected when they're around you. Don't really know what to do with themselves, surrounded by so many enemies. Yeah, okay. Theodore leads you down. He opens another set of doors from like the central hall into like a long corridor that it's a corridor that has pretty significant importance in that it's the corridor that holds all of the chalices that each of the Demir family like put their blood into at the beginning of the moot. You walk down this hallway and Theodore says, Lady Tiamat also grew up in a place of religious import. Not that you would likely know much about it. But there is a nation, or should I call it an entity, called the Mission to the Far East, whose goal is to enlighten less civilized people with the tenets of the One Mother. You do recognize the One Mother. There was like a religious or like a funeral service like in the first act of the entire campaign that was given to like that one guy who was found dead in the very first session.
Is that like the Maker's Many?
Yeah, it's the Maker's Many. And it's like the most popular religion in the Cerulean Garden. I would say that the mission to the Far East is a rather zealous sect. And I know that, at least you've indicated to me, that my ways are extreme. But let me assuage your fears. Lady Tiamat grew up in a place where she was enslaved by these people, and knows how hurtful their practices can be. I'm sure you will find her much more empathetic than I.
Let's hope.
And he opens this last set of double doors at the end of the corridor into this. It is a chapel. The pews within this chapel are like strewn about. There's blue flame licking off of them and off of the walls and floor, and more importantly off the altar at the back of the room. Standing up on the altar, seemingly corralled like cattle, children of Shazal Demir, Alaviv, Argaith, Matisvintha Demir, Odothe, Bandili, and of course Galethe.
Oh god, I knew he was coming to this.
All wrangled and corralled up into this room.
God damn it.
Oh no.
I knew it was coming.
And they stand back in fear, as in this room that you're in, closer to where you are several torchbearers, and none other than a Lady Tiamat standing there, and she turns her head as soon as the doors open towards you. And lets out a smile. And she speaks.
Very good. It appears that most of Shazal's children have arrived.
As you're going through this door with Gaderic and Amalafra, and you can see like genuine fear and dread paints across their face, as what they're looking at isn't their siblings kind of like nervously standing or like cowering in the corner, but up on the altar, kind of like bent over it, body burnt and still burning in blue flame, is Shazal Demir.
Damn.
Dead.
Fuck.
Whoa.
Wait, is that the mom?
Yeah, that's the mom.
That's all of their mom. Yeah.
Fuck. Wait, is the crazy one in there?
No.
Actually, Melusine is not.
No.
There's only two, other than like all of Shazal's dead children, and Melusine, there's only one missing child who hasn't played an important role in this, but like if you're counting all of them off in your head because you know your enemies very well, Roksana, is one Sigismund Demir, appears to not be
Sick name.
anywhere
Deus Vult.
around.
And what a surprise. I was planning on getting to all of Shazad's children first to present them with a choice. But I suppose it would not be... I would not waste an opportunity to tell you as well. We are here to offer you an opportunity to repent
The music's hitting, dude.
and to propel ourselves towards a brighter future for Thalis Ashana. Right now it may seem that we are attacking your home, assaulting your family, but I'm sure an esteemed woman such as yourself would know that there is a larger goal in the distance. And as an olive branch to extend it towards you and all of your siblings, I was not even the one who came up with this plan. To forsake this wretched competition between all of you.
You hear a door open, like an auxiliary door, from somewhere else. In like maybe like we'll say like the one leading to like the outside from the back of this chapel.
We bring with you with us an opportunity for companionship, for alliances. But who better to convince you than one of your own?
Someone who you haven't seen for a while steps through the door. A well-composed but like gruffer-looking young man. One of your most well-off opponents in all of this.
Is it Gary?
It is indeed Sigari Demir.
Hell yeah, I like this art. That's
And
sick.
that's where we're gonna end the session.
Oh, damn.
As he steps out into this chapel.
Made up last session.